Well, what an exciting day this is for Millsaps. What a great day for us to celebrate this fantastic new building, this facility that's going to make a huge difference for the college. Welcome all. Glad to have you all here. Thanks for our families, our parents, our friends of the college. Of course, the most important people here are these students over here, so thank y'all. We love seeing you guys here and celebrating this great occasion with you. We're here to break ground, as you know, on a facility that will elevate the tradition of Millsaps Majors baseball. At Millsaps, competitive sports make a positive contribution to our students, to their growth in emotional, intellectual, character development. We expect the same level of excellence in our athletic programs as we do our academic programs. And so we are now here to celebrate this great new building. Athletics at Millsaps shapes the lives of players both on the field and off the field, on the track and on the court, helping them to develop real-world skills and make lifelong friendships and memories. In fact, the relationships built between coaches and their players are hugely important here. And I cannot overstate the number of times alumni who played for Jim Page have shared with me how much he meant to them during their Millsaps experience. Our dedicated coaches instill in their student athletes the life-changing values of teamwork, discipline, and respect. In the words of one former Millsaps baseball parent, this program is not just about baseball. It's about sending superior men into our communities who have been instilled with a sense of duty, teamwork, and honor. Of course, at Millsaps, we love to win. Duty, teamwork, and honor. We like to win here. We love to win. And Coach Page and his teams have a long record of winning that has elevated Millsaps' reputation throughout the collegiate baseball world and garnered significant awards and well-deserved recognition. This new facility will enhance our highly successful baseball program by providing year-round indoor space for hitting, pitching, and fielding, and it also includes a players' lounge that will expand opportunities for team building for our guys. As many of you know, this project grew out of the enthusiastic support of baseball parents who follow the team and want our players to have competitive training facilities that are commensurate with the level of talent, dedication, and performance of our coaches and our athletes. I want to express deep appreciation to Shad and Brooke Robinson for their early expression of interest in enhanced baseball facilities and their gifts and hard work in pushing this project through. And I want to offer a special word of thanks for the extraordinary financial support of Heather and Mark Petkaizik and Heather's parents, Joy and Will Crenshaw, who are with us today. Glad y'all could be here. This project would not be happening without your support. I'll always remember two occasions along the way to today. The first was on a Sunday morning this past March when Phoebe and I hosted a brunch for Heather and Mark and Joy and Will at the president's house. During a conversation about a potential baseball practice facility, Mr. Crenshaw said he understood why we had to pause the project in the spring of 2020 as COVID-19 sent us all into retreat. But he went on to say, the pause is over, let's break ground this Tuesday. So we didn't quite manage your 48-hour instructions, Will, but here we are today. We're delighted and we are on track for a February 15th opening of this facility. The second occasion was in late June as the deadline for deciding whether to proceed loomed when Mrs. Crenshaw so beautifully prayed for this project's success following our hamburger salad lunch at J. Wilson's Restaurant in Beaumont. Thank you, dear Petkaiziks and Crenshaw families, for your generosity, your prayers, and your friendship. We have a number of other donors with us today, and I would like to ask those who have made a gift to the project to please stand or raise your hand so we can recognize and say thank you to you as well. Come on, don't be bashful. You're out there. I invite you to see a list of our donors and the renderings of the new building after the program. We're also grateful to the Millsaps Board of Trustees for their support, Board of Trustees Chair of the Facilities Committee, and a generous donor to the project. David Russell is with us today. David, thank you. And we also have trustees Ward Van Sciver, Susan Frazier, Ryan Beckett, and Jeff Mitchell standing in for trustee April Mitchell. Thank you all for being here. We're delighted to be working with Michael Berner, a 1998 graduate of Millsaps and a former tennis player. And he and his colleagues at Ware Burner Allen, architects. Thank you, Michael, for being here. With his new 2-week-old baby. And Chris Mansour and Intercorp Corporation. Thank you all for all being here. Appreciate it very much. Michael, we expect this new facility will get us back to the Division III World Series in Appleton, Wisconsin, in the same way that y'all's new facility at Mississippi State got them to the World Series championship. So it's on you now. So at this time, I invite Athletics Director Aaron Pelch to say a few words, followed by Coach Jim Page. Then number 11, Mason Little, not quite the president yet, and Shad Robinson, father of Braden, number 22. Following their remarks, the Dean of the Chapel, Joey Shelton, a former Millsaps baseball player, will provide a blessing for the successful construction of this new facility, and after his remarks, we will move to the groundbreaking to close our ceremony. So, thank you, Aaron.
See if I can get these. Hey, thank you, Dr. Persian, for a great introduction into about the facility. I was told today that we were supposed to dress for the weather, and as I look out in the crowd a little bit there, it seems like some of you haven't played sports in the South for a while. So I stand in front of you today both humbled and honored to be here. I'm humbled by the generosity of all those that have given to this project. I mean, it's been unbelievable. And no matter the size of the donation, because each contribution to this facility came from a place of love. Love of a former player, of the love of their coach, the love of a parent or grandparent, the love of Millsaps as an institution, and the belief that Millsaps really is a place that can change lives. And I cannot understate just the outpouring of support and the people that were willing to be part of this project. It's an amazing testament to all those things. I'm also really honored to be amongst such an amazing group of supporters, honored that I get to share the day with a lot of you alums and current players that have such great memories of what it was like to play baseball here, what it's like to be a student here, all those things. And I'm really anxious to listen to what you hope the future is going to be for the baseball program and for Millsaps as a whole. I'm also honored to be amongst people that never had that same experience, but share the same passion for the college. And really grateful for them and for their generosity of this program. My first introduction to Shad, I'm going to single Shad out a little bit, who you'll hear from here shortly, was through this project. So I knew his son Braden was a pitcher on the team, but I didn't know Shad or Brooke, either one really. But I heard something from somebody that said, it was something like, yeah, there's this crazy baseball parent that has an idea for a baseball project and he's committed some money to get some renderings done. And I thought two things immediately came to my head. Number one, crazy and baseball parent is not mutually exclusive. And I've seen, in my time in higher ed, I've seen a lot of renderings tucked into closets and behind doors and on shelves of buildings that were never built. But what I didn't know is how infectious Shad's enthusiasm for this project would be, and how he would just keep driving and moving forward and really truly being the driving force to get others excited about this project and get Heather and Mark on board and really generate a ton of enthusiasm within our parents group, and continues to do that even still to today. So Shad and Brooke, thank you so much for your work on this and dedication to this project. Millsaps and baseball are really synonymous in the state of Mississippi and beyond. The success of our program and the importance it holds within our department of the college cannot be understated. If your kid grew up in the Jackson area, like maybe some of you did, I know, I didn't see Tal here, it's likely that the reason why you know about Millsaps is because of Millsaps baseball and because of Jim Page. And current players and alums will always be thought of in that light and always be thought of winners because of the reputation that Millsaps baseball holds within this community and out beyond. I know this facility is going to help pave the way for even greater success in recruiting and development of our current players and the next generation of majors. And I'm looking forward to see the project come together, and I'm looking forward even more to the success, the current and continued success of the Millsaps baseball program. So thanks everybody that was involved, your generosity. Players, looking forward to seeing you work in this facility, get better in here, and give us the edge and advantage that we need to get better as a baseball program. And next I'm going to hand things off to Jim, who is unlikely to say just a few words, but I left him a little bit more time to make sure that that we could be done by 6. So.
I will be brief, and I do want to show you the difference of a president and an athletic director and a baseball coach. There's my speech, and I can't read it. I can read. I'm a Millsaps grad, but I'm just not very good when it comes to just reading. I've got to be off the cuff. When I do that, I do run the risk of taking a 5-minute presentation into a 35-minute presentation. I will not do that. It is hot. I don't think the hot stuff's really going to set in until we start practice in a few weeks. But Dr. Perigin and Coach Pelch, I call him Coach because he's a great football coach. He's going to be a tremendous athletic director as well, but I still see him as an incredible football coach and always will be in my mind. But I appreciate you for your kind remarks and really, am thankful for the passion that you guys have for these student athletes. For their success both on and off the field. And gang, I can tell you, I've sat in both offices at times, and while I'm sitting there waiting, I see 100 people coming in and out. While their passion is in this one brief moment, their passion is 24/7, 365 days a year throughout the whole school year. So I appreciate the time that you have given us in this. I'm here to represent the coaches and to say some thanks to the people that have given us. And I kind of got it broken down in 3 or 4 groups so I could be precise and get to the point. And the first is the parents and grandparents. As Coach Pelch and Dr. Perigin alluded to, this idea was not started by us coaches, where usually it probably would come from. This was started from parents and grandparents and with a vision and a passion. And as I would see the renditions of the pictures and the plans and as they started breaking ground and I would walk by, I would just, Coach Pelch used the word love, and I got to use the same word. It's neat, the love of parents and grandparents for their kids. And even more special to me than even that is over the years I've learned of their genuine appreciation to those who look after their kids. And so some of the parents are here. I can assure you, and I think some of the older guys can, that we do love them and we'll treat them like our own, whether it's a high five or a spanking. So we'll do both. And I know the faculty and staff here at Millsaps are the exact same way. Parents, I can't thank you enough for your generosity. Even a guy whose kid graduated in 1996 is on a donor's list, and so a parent. And so that's a really neat thing. Thank you a bunch. To my former players, who I call my old guys. Some of them, if you played for me, if you're alive, you probably played for me because I'll be dead soon. But anyway, if you can, raise your hand real quick. I know only a couple guys can, but there's Danny Myers and John Mercer, Jeff Mitchell, some other guys maybe here. Jeff is the deputy athletic director at Southern Miss that played here. Impressive. We got doctors, lawyers, businessmen, guys that run the pro golf tournament here. They don't run a little shabby, golf tournament somewhere. They run the Mississippi pro golf tournament thing. So it's really neat. I can't tell you the number of times Brad Ewing would call me about, hey, this player just donated, and this player just donated, and this player, and it just kept on, call after call after call. And I would just smile big, and Brad, wherever you are, forgive me, because what would happen at the end of each week, Brad would come over, we'd do a check of things, and I would start telling him a story about each and every one of my players. And poor Brad would, if you think this is long, he would sit up there for a while and listen to stories, and Danny Meyer stories, and John Mercer stories, and Jeff Mitchell, Kirk Kennards, Tal Hendricks, the whole bunch of them. I can't tell you how humbling it is for me to know guys from the 80s who I played with to the 90s to the 2000s have given just so generously. And guys, what neat. We talked to our players a few minutes ago, the first time this team, the 2022 team, got to get together, and we talked about family. And you guys prove that, every day. And then with this project, the passion that you all did is amazing. I'll finish them with this. It's not just a team you play on for 4 years. This is not just a school you go to for 4 years. This is a program that family is what you've got for the rest of your lives. And whether it's a coach or a teammate or a faculty member or administration, they are there 24/7. And it is just awesome to be able to see these older guys get together and what they do, and how much this place and this program means to them, and how much you guys mean to them. I promise you, every year I will have parents of a player that graduated in 1996 will call and say, "Coach, how are we going to be this year?" Not how are you guys going to be, but how are we going to be this year? And that goes to show that this must be more than just the team that you play on in the school that you go to. Next, so again, thank you guys. I can't thank you enough. I'm beyond humbled by what you all have done and given. The next is what I call the all-star team. I don't even know every member on it, but I know Brad Ewing. I know Hope Carter was on it. I know Dr. Parrish and Aaron Pelch have been on it. There have been some parents that have been on it, and some former players of mine, my old guys, who have made calls and pushed and done this and done that. And honestly, back in that March time, when Shad came and whatever, when this started looking like, hey, something might go on, and then I hear how much money has to be raised and how much money has to be raised in 3.5 months, or this isn't here. I went to bed that night thinking, God bless them, but there's no way. And what I didn't know how powerful the all-star team was. And so the passion that I've spoke about of our parents, of our players, and our coaching staff, the same holds true with those that work here in what they do. They get paid whether this got off the ground or not, but each day, Brad Ewing won or lost. And he called me each day to let me know if he won or lost that day. And Hope Carter, the same thing. And just how awesome it is. And guys, I know there are others that do stuff with them and the whole deal. I can't thank that all-star team enough for what you guys did. And when I saw the purple shovels when I walked by today, that's when I was like, wow, they won. That was a great win. I appreciate you guys much. I'll finish with a couple people real quick. Danny, raise your hand. Danny Neely. Danny Neely, I know he set this stuff up. My parents and players are clapping right now because they know the grass and how green it is and how well that play. I get so many compliments from other teams that play on our field that are like, man, this is one of the best playing surfaces we have. I wish I could take credit for it, but it's Danny Neely. And as we get with Michael Byrne and them to talk about what kind of turf we put in there, I got odds that say Danny Neely can grow grass inside in 3 days. So he's the best. Martha, I say this, I said it to her, and each year I think about this. If it was not for Martha Campbell, I would not be working here. And that was back in 1989, 88, something like that. I'll never forget what you did for me. Thank you. To my wife, Cindy, raise your hand. Any coach, if he knows what's good for him, will thank his wife before he goes home. That's a joke. I do want to say this. This is my last thing. I went home and I knew about the project, knew it was real, knew people were giving, and I said, hey, honey, I'm an alum, you're an alum. I played baseball here. We've got a kid that plays on a team. I work here, and before I could get it out, I didn't even ask. She said, yes, we're going to give this now, and then we'll give this afterward. And it was more than You should have let me finish, honey. I was only going to ask for half of that. So she's the man and runs the family, and I thank you for making more money than I do. I love you for that. I have no problem. I am today's guy. Guys, thank you all, everybody, so much for everything. I love y'all, my players, my guys. Guys, I hope you see this. This will mean this much to you one day. All right.
Well, I wish I would have known that I could bring a piece of paper up here. But you can take it back. But first of all, I just want to say thank you to President Perigin, A.D. Pelch, Coach Page, the Pekazik family, the Robinson family, and everybody who made this come together. Former players, alumni, Board of Trustee members. I cannot express how thankful we are that we're going to have this facility built. But Millsaps baseball means a lot more than just getting a degree and coming out here and, playing the sport you love for 4 or 5 more years. Coach Page talks a lot about the people who came before us and the banners that hang on the wall, and they really do mean a lot. We care a lot about what we do, and we work hard every single day, but to know that there's decades of people who have came here and done the same exact thing, it makes you feel like you're really part of the community here. And this project, you see what's going on. It is a community, and it's a family, and it's everything that Coach Page talked about. So we thank everybody involved. And also, when we get going in here, there's not going to be any more 25-degree hitting sessions. We have some heating and air conditioning to go along with it. But it's special when you know how tight our community is, and I'm talking about our team as my community when I was here, and you look at all the other communities that have banners on the wall, and when you see this project go in, it's special because it's not one community, it's not 2 communities, it's the entire baseball community over the past 30, 40, however many years it's going on, and it's special to be a part of, and I'm thankful for it every day, and I know that everybody on the team and the coaches and everybody who works here is thankful as well. So thank you all from the team. We're really excited to get going. We're excited for the season. We worked hard all summer, and we're not going to stop. So thank you all.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for coming out. I'm here to speak on behalf of the parents as a group. And listening to Coach Pelch, Coach Page, by the way, for those of you who don't know, I'm from Iowa originally. There's a baseball movie, The Field of Dreams. And this crazy guy from Iowa keeps hearing these voices and has this vision. So as I heard Coach Pelch talk about my vision or my idea, I think about that movie a little bit. And there was many times during the process where I even questioned myself, why are we going to really be able to do this? But as I reflect back on the past couple of years and the things that have happened in our world, and to these guys as student athletes with COVID and the infamous ice storm and water and all these things they've been through, it's a blessing to be here today to talk about groundbreaking in this facility and what it's going to mean to the campus. I tried to find a baseball quote, Coach, but I found a good football quote. Coach Lombardi said, "Individual commitment to a group effort is what makes a successful team, a successful company, a successful society, and a successful civilization." And when I reflect on this project, that's what I think of. This isn't an individual effort of one person. This is a lot of individual efforts of people committing to a group idea and a group effort. So I want to extend my thanks to Dr. Perigin, the Board of Trustees, Coach Pelch, Coach Page, all of the parents, former players, Millsaps alumni, the Jackson community, everyone who's had a little part or big part in this. My partners in crime the last year or so has been the Pekazik family, the Crenshaw family. I want to give a shout out to them. They've been instrumental in this process as well. And I think I can speak on behalf of all the parents when I reflect on what this means as a parent of a Millsaps baseball player. The first thing I think of is the support or the family that Coach Page talked about. This was an effort by the entire Millsaps family, getting back to this team concept, this team effort. So I'm thankful for that as a parent. We live in Texas now, so we're 8 hours away, and I have no reservations about my son being at Millsaps. He's here and he's around family. So that's the first thing I reflect on as a parent. The second thing, selfishly, perhaps on behalf of Coach Page, is I think about the recruiting and what this means to future student athletes when they drive in and see this facility on a visit, or when opposing teams drive up here in their bus and they see this facility and the options that our players have at Millsaps. And I think it generates excitement to the students other than baseball players to see that the college is committed to building facilities, to giving students and student athletes the tools they need to have success, not only on the field, but off the field. And lastly, and probably most importantly for me and for the players, is what a facility like this does to team chemistry and the ability to work out together, to have a facility, a players' lounge over there where they can hang out before and after practices, before and after games. The unity, the team building that goes on during those times ultimately leads to success as well. So I come back to my initial quote from Coach Lombardi. An individual commitment to a group effort is what makes a successful team, a successful business, Millsaps, the team, successful society, the entire Millsaps family, and a successful civilization. And that's what I think we're doing here by building this facility. So again, thanks to everyone who donated. I personally am thankful for that. The parents are thankful for everything that everyone's done. Thank you.
When I came to Millsaps, my senior year, I made a very difficult decision. I had played football for 4 years and baseball for 3 years, and I did not play my senior year because I had to get so many hours to graduate. It was going to be impossible to graduate. But there was this manager on the football team who was doing his work study as a manager, who was a baseball player, who was a freshman, and his name was Jim Page. And we became fraternity brothers, and I think of him as a brother in more ways than one. And perhaps the best compliment that I've ever had concerning playing baseball at Millsaps was when one of Coach Page's players asked me if I played for Coach Page. And I've picked on him about that, but that's a compliment. I would have loved to have played for Coach Page. And when I was asked to do the blessing and say the prayer for today, I thought about what a man of faith he is, and how I would entrust my child to him in a moment's notice. And so this blessing of this space, Jim, I wrote a poem for you, man. And we're, as people of faith, going to ask God's blessing on this endeavor. So hear this prayer. God, you are the center and circumference of the nations. You have gifted us with an earthly foundation, a generative act you pronounced good, your creation. Its baselines and boundaries are firmly in place. Your creative acts, sun, wind, sky, life, and love, are gifts of grace. Throughout time, people have believed and doubted, loved and quarreled, cheered and heckled, kicking dirt as they shouted. We consider fields, fences, diamonds, and bases around which we race, spaces to practice the dramas of the human face. And we give you thanks as we celebrate new ways for teams to indoors gather, even in a cage, under the watchful eyes of our beloved Coach Page. Thank you for people who care one for the other, for teammates who form relationships as close as brothers, for our college called Millsaps, her coaches, her families, teachers, administrators, staff, friends, and others who nurture and teach and provide like fathers and mothers. Bless this vision, we pray, the dedication, the efforts we mark today, so that when the dust settles, you, O God, will say, "It is good, very good," and until the final out, and then forevermore, with you, I will stay. And all of God's people said, Amen.